Texas boxing scene is here with the new ABF 140-pound champ, Travis Crawford. First off, congratulations on the new strap, man. It's been a really good year for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Like I said, 2023 was a breakout year for you. No one really knew who you were before 2023, and now you've put together 5-0, right? 5 straight wins this year, 6 wins overall, but 5 this year.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about the success you've had in 2023 and what this year has done for you.
It's opened up a lot of doors. I've met a lot of cool people, a lot of cool promoters have came up to me, and then it's opened up windows. I finally got a belt that was very long overdue. It's just opened up a lot. I go a lot of places and people know my name now.
When I was announcing your fight in Corpus Christi back in February, Kerry Daigle, the world famous manager, like covered up the mic. He's like, "Hey, who is this kid?" I'm like, Trent Crawford. He's like, "He's exciting. I want to get him on some of my cards." But you're that kind of fighter, right? Like everyone wants to see you fight. What's it like to get that kind of reaction in your hometown and everywhere you go? You know, people want to see you fight because your fights are always exciting.
It's amazing. It's just like every time I get done fighting, people always come up to me. They're always like, "Man, you're a great fighter. Don't ever change the way you fight. You're very entertaining. You're not a fighter who sits there, who's boring." But of course, I do have my times where like I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna be like, "Hold on, like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna respond to this?" But it's just, I don't know. It's a great feeling.
Take me back to February of this year, and you fight Tyler Pacheco in what was the fight of the night there, and you know you can find it on YouTube. Really, really, really exciting fight. Talk about that fight and what went into that fight, and then to finally get the stoppage in that war. Talk about that fight a little bit.
So that fight, there was a lot going, like a lot had went wrong for that whole training camp to the point where like I wasn't able to get out to the gym as much. All I had was my running. I had my running, my shadow boxing at home, and then for the final 2 weeks, I finally was able to go to the gym and actually start training. And me and my coach started just working like twice a day, like working hard, like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night, running in between the days. Like we're just working hard. And then about 4 days before the fight happens, I get into a big old car crash. My car is totaled. I can't get a rental. I don't have a way out to Ingleside to go train with my head coach. Like I have a backup gym that I come train down here with my secondary coach, Coach Juan Fedez. But Coach Jordan's my head coach that we're working on like our game plans and everything. So walking into the Tyler Pacheco fight, we were nervous. We were like, man, like how's my conditioning gonna be? How am I gonna perform? What am I gonna like? Am I gonna be able to perform the way that I want to perform? And for a little bit, I wasn't feeling like I wasn't really like there. Like I was like, man, like I'm getting hit when I know I shouldn't be getting hit. I'm getting hit with punches I shouldn't be getting hit from. And so we're breaking down to the body. We're landing like a few headshots here and there. And then in the 4th round, I like shoulder rolled one of his punches, and I saw the opening. So I threw an uppercut, and right when I saw it, I saw him he was out on his feet, and I just pressure fought him until the ref stopped it.
He's a tough guy, right? If anything else, Tyler Pacheco, that guy, he's tough as nails. His record doesn't really indicate what kind of fighter he is. He's tough, right?
No, he is very tough. I
told that when you fought him. Like, this guy is tough as hell, man.
Like, I was hitting him with some body shots, and those body shots are hard. People would tell me that they could hear him, and he wouldn't go. I could hear him too. He'd be like, ugh, and like he would hold on to me. He just wouldn't go down. He's a champ.
So over the course of the year, over the summer, you pick up a few more wins. You traveled down to Louisiana as well, right? You fought in the Valley as well. You stayed busy. What was that like? You know, getting consistent work and constantly having something on the schedule, because you fought 5 times in a matter of like 8 months, right?
Yes, sir. It's just in this game, you gotta be different than everybody else. Everyone takes 3 months, 2 months, 6 months to fight. But what's really going to stick you out? Like, okay, you're an entertaining fighter, but look at this guy. This guy's an entertaining fighter too. What's more different about you? I think that's what sets me away from everybody, is that not only am I an entertaining fighter, my fights get more entertaining every single fight. And my fights are so constantly to where the people are like, man, he just fought last month, but he's getting ready to fight again. Let's go. Or he just fought 2 months ago and he's ready fighting again. I think the longest break I had this year was maybe 2 months. Three's pushing it, but maybe 2 months.
And you've been in the gym the whole time. You can see the improvement is vast. There's a lot of improvement that you made in a short period of time. What do you feel like you've made the most progress on in this year?
Just pinpoint punching. Like, everybody thinks it's always about how hard you hit, it's always about how hard you hit, how fast you hit, but all it comes down to is your boxing IQ. It comes down to where you hit. Like, you could throw a hard punch, but you don't land on the right spot, or you're just gonna stun somebody. Like, when I fought Michael Haynes, I threw a body shot, and it wasn't even a hard body shot, and it just landed in the right spot twice.
This is another really tough guy. They don't give you, pushover opponents. I mean, Michael Haynes is what he is, but that guy's tough too. I mean, I've seen him take a beating, man. That guy is tough as can be. They've given you really tough opponents. Now, after the Haynes fight, I want to get into your next fight. Jose Maldonado at the Pain Arena, pretty big crowd, pretty big arena. And you basically watch him, you dominate him over 4 rounds. Talk about that fight.
That fight, it was a turnaround on short notice. One of the guys from Anthony Cavazos, it was a dude that was fighting. He messaged me. He's like, "Hey, would you want to fight on this card?" I was like, "I do, but I'm not gonna fight a top tier prospect right now."
Yeah.
So they're like, "Well, there's a slot for you on this card if you want it." So I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Like, I'll take it." It's a short notice fight. It's a month out. A month after I had just hurt my arm fighting Michael Haynes. I had went into the fight with a hurt arm, but I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna pass this opportunity. There's a big opportunity to fight, and I was doing my research, and nobody has won in Corpus from the Pain Arena. Nobody has won from Corpus at the Pain Arena. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna be the first. So I'm training. We're getting ready to fight, and we're right at the Pain Arena. We're walking from the back, and like, up until then, I was not nervous at all. But right when we get through those doors, I was like, oh shoot! It all hit me at once. Seeing like the nice dressing rooms again, and being like with a lot of like prospects who were really good. Fabian Diaz was there.
I want to ask you about him in just a minute. We're gonna come back to that, but continue.
Fabian Diaz was there. Esteban was there. A lot of good fighters were there. So I'm there. I'm like, dang, like I'm with them right now. Like, it was a pretty cool feeling. So we're warming up, and I'm nervous. So I'm messing up the combos, and like I'm like, wow, there's a big crowd, and like I'm kind of messing up on mids. But right when we go into the ring, and like the first punch was thrown, it just all came like naturally. All the nerves are gone. I looked outwards, and I didn't see nobody in the crowd, so it just felt like a glorified sparring match.
You definitely took care of business, like I said, in a big crowd, and we've seen you at all different weight classes. We've seen at that low as 126 and as high as 140. You've mentioned Fabian Diaz. I was going to bring him up anyway on that card. That's why I went to that card. What weight do you feel most comfortable at? Well, let's start with that. What weight, like we've seen you all over. What's your best weight, and where can we expect to see you at in the future?
I'm thinking 140 because I'm not gonna lie, I've had a hard time making 135. Even fighting Michael Haynes, I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning running to make weight. But I mean, I'm young, I'm still growing, and just adding a whole bunch of muscle to like put more power behind the punches. Like, the weight's just fluctuating up and down. So right now I got the belt at 140. So I'm thinking probably just gonna stick at 140. Maybe for like big title fights, maybe back down to 35. We're just gonna fluctuate and see like which weight feels best. But at 40, I definitely feel a lot stronger.
Now, I want to ask you, Fabian Diaz, I think he's about your age. I think he's like 19, 5-0. He's from the Valley, Edinburgh, I think. First off, what do you think of Fabian Diaz? And do you look at him saying, I can fight him. He's a future opponent.
Oh, most definitely. There's already been talks about like us fighting and stuff like that, but as of right now, that's a fight that's gonna be held off, and like it built up later on, like about 2 years when we both have like a really, really big name, and we can both sell out a giant crowd and both make a big giant profit off that fight. That's when that fight would happen. When the timing is right. Fabian, I have nothing but respect for Fabian though. He's a great fighter. He's an amazing fighter at that. It's just I have nothing but respect for him. I have nothing against him. He's a great fighter.
I want to see that fight. I had to ask. I had to put it out there. He's open to it just in the future. You wouldn't, that's not something you'd want to do right at the moment.
Oh yeah, something in the future, like when we both have like, cause like right now like we have junior belts, so
yeah,
like maybe later on we both have like belts and we can fight for a bigger belt. It would definitely be something that crosses my mind.
So then you came back to Corpus. You fought at the big stadium. What was that like? What was that fight in the big arena in your home city?
It was nerve-wracking because since I was a kid, I've always dreamed of, man, I'm gonna fight the American Bank Center. I'm gonna fight the American Bank Center, and then when it finally happened, I was like, dang, I'm here. And then
Paul Williams has fought there. Evander Holyfield has fought there. I mean, it's got a little boxing history to it. And now Travis Crawford has fought there, and he won the ABF belt there. So let me stop you right there. Let me pause you right there. What does winning that belt mean to you? So early in your career, just what are you, 6, 7, 8 fights in, 6 and 2, 8 fights in.
Yes,
what's it like? Getting a strap. You said a regional belt, a junior belt, but this early in your career.
It's amazing. It's an unreal feeling. Just I had always wanted a belt. I see pros all the time. They have their belts, and like I just want to be like I want a lot of belts in the amateurs, but like those are amateur belts. We're pros now, and like out of all those times I won all those belts in the amateurs, none of them compared to winning this one. When they announced my name, it was just like I felt like I'd go another 6 rounds. I was happy. I wanted to jump up, but I was like, nah, I'm a pro. I gotta keep calm and like act like I've been here. But it was an amazing feeling winning it in front of my family, my home crowd, winning it at the American Bank Center. It was just something that I had always. It felt like I was in a dream.
You moved to, like I said, 6 and 2. That's 6 straight wins. Let me ask you before we go backwards. Let me go forward. Is there anyone specifically in Texas or in the area who you want to fight next? I mean, 140, 135, those are loaded weight classes. Is there anyone specifically you have your eye on who you would want to fight?
I want to fight Rolly and Gamboa. I want to fight Rolly.
You want to fight Rolly?
I want to fight Rolly.
I know people who know Rolly. I could probably I could put your name out there. All right. So I mean, you start your career off 0-2. Did you think within a year of starting 0-2 that you'd be holding that belt and that you'd be here that quickly?
I honestly truly didn't. Like when I was with my old management team, my old like team in general, I just like I knew these were fights that I shouldn't have taken, and I took them, and I was like, man, like I'm going down the wrong path. Cause I mean, I wasn't a bum. I didn't have the most amateur experience, but I wasn't a bum coming out of the amateurs. I had my amateur experience, but like when I got to 0-2, I went and I sat there on my couch, and I was just like, man, like is this what my career is gonna be? So then I finally left that team, and I went and I met Coach Jordan Penny, and we started working together. And as time went on, I got away from those people, and then we got to like a legal battle with this whole contract thing, which wasn't really a contract, but like it was like a makeshift contract that was never notified or turned into TDLR.
Yeah.
So then we have all that going, and then we get to a fight in November against Jose Ruiz, and we got our first win there, and it was an amazing feeling just finally getting the first win. And then after that was when we fought Tyler Pacheco, and then that happened, and then just from there it's just been a smooth sailing. I gotta thank my coach Jordan the most for getting me. I wouldn't be where I'm at without him. He's the one who's like, hey, like this will be a good fight. This will give you the best publicity. This will really put your name out there. He's the one who's really been guiding me in the way of where I need to go. And without him, I most definitely wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
I want to start you from the beginning. You make your pro debut at the Alamo Dome, right?
Yes, sir.
Just a couple hours from your home, on a massive card. What was that like? I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to. You fought Xavier Bocanegra, who was a stud prospect from the Valley. But what was it like making your pro debut at the Alamo Dome?
It was nerve-wracking. I was excited. I had a friend named John Rincon. I've known him.
I know. We're gonna get into the rest of the Corpus fighters. He was on that card too.
Yeah, John
was on that card. Okay, yeah.
So we're hanging out at the hotel, and he's like, "Hey, bro, like you need to be smart. This dude's good. He's dangerous." I was like, "I know," but I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, everyone's dangerous, whatever. But so we go to weigh-ins. I'm like, "Oh, this dude's small," and then like it was.
Yeah.
But like when it finally came down to fight, I was like, "Oh shoot, this is the real deal," because prior to that, I had never had any experience with 8 ounces, never trained in them, never even felt the snap of one. So going against somebody who was so like talented and highly prospected was like, I got hit for the first time. I was like, oh shoot, like.
And he can crack too, right?
Yeah, he got some snap behind his punch. Bro, I was like, dude, this is real.
If you guys don't know, Xavier Bocanegra trains down in Houston with Ronnie Shields, and Ronnie Shields is in love with his power. And this is the guy you made your pro debut against, right? You look back at it, you said, I wouldn't have, took these type of fights. Your second fight, you don't take an easier fight. You fight Ronnie Rios, who's from New York. You fight him in New York, and you lose a very close decision, which could have went your way, but didn't. How disappointing was it not to get that decision? And we'll start with that. I mean, did you think you won the fight? And how disappointed were you that the decision went the other way?
I'm not one who likes to be like, oh, I got robbed, this, that, but there's no doubt in my mind that I won that fight. And if I didn't, at most it should have been a draw. I don't really believe in the majority decision that went his way, but it's a pass. What can we do about it now? But I would be open to fighting Ronnie again.
Just to put that out there, he fought a New York fighter who's promoted by Joe DeGuardia, Star Boxing, on a Joe DeGuardia card in New York City. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy or anything. I'm just putting all the facts out there, right?
Yeah.
So you're 0-2 at that point. I mean, do you have any second thoughts? I mean, you say maybe this isn't going to work out for me. I mean, what's your mindset at 0-2?
It's just like it was just like, man, maybe this wasn't meant to be. And maybe it's not everything that I thought it was gonna be. Like, I'm not working right now. I don't have no money in my pockets. Like, I'm getting beat up. Like, I'm not getting beat up, but I'm losing my fights. Like, I'm a joke right now. Like, I'm looked at as a joke right now. So I'm talking to my coach. I'm like, man, coach, like, I want to do this, but like,
it's not working out right now. Yeah.
And he's like, man, don't give up. You got a bright future. I can see it in you. He's like, you got this. So, like I said, we just started training, and it just all started coming in perfect.
And I just want to put this out there. Bernard Hopkins lost his first fight. Juan Manuel Marquez lost his first fight. Denito Donaire lost his second fight, and Hank Armstrong, who they coined the phrase pound for pound, right? At that time, it was the best pound for pound fight ever, lost 3 of his first 4 fights. So, I mean, it's not unprecedented. Everyone, well, Donaire's not in the Hall of Fame yet because he's not, but he will be. Everyone I just named there is a Hall of Famer, all-time great legend, one of the best guys, if not the best guy in their weight class of all time. So, it's not over, right? It's not college football. It's not you lose once and it's over, right? Like you've gotten yourself back into that prospect level where people are looking at you. How hard was that to do when you are 0-2 to keep yourself motivated?
It was pretty hard, but like I said, I thank God that I had my team. Like my coach really kept me motivated. My coach Jordan, my coach Juan kept me motivated. My cut man David, he kept me motivated because it's a very mental drain position to be in when you're like, man, like a lot of people are excited for you to come out of the amateurs to make your pro debut, and then you start off 0-2, and it's just like, man, like it's just the feeling of like letting people down. It's just like it's a very tough feeling to have to carry on your back.
Yeah, you're all alone with it for sure, right? When you win, you get those knockouts. Everyone, you're the best champ, you're the best, but when you lose, Sergio Martinez, the former middleweight champ, said that when he knocked out Chavez, he had 87 missed calls. When he got knocked out, he had 4, and 3 of them was from his mom, and the 4th was a sales call, right? Like it's that lonely, right? But when you're on top, everyone wants to take the ride with you. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, yeah, most definitely. Oh, that was
So, like you said, you've won 6 in a row now. It's been a crazy ride. When can we expect you back in the ring? And when are we going to see you again?
could be next month.
You might fight again this year.
Might fight again this year. One more just to close the year out, and then January and February we're like iffy about those, but most definitely you're gonna see me a lot more next year. I want to start fighting 8 to 10 rounds next year.
You're already fighting 6. That was your first 6-rounder in this first fight. Any difference in the game plan? Any difference, or how'd you feel fighting 6 for the first time?
For the first time fighting 6, I was not tired. I feel like I could go another 6. But for the first time fighting 6, I felt good. My coach told me, he was like, hey, like, you're 6 rounds now. You're not, like, before we were fighting 4, like, now you got to really take your time. So first 2 rounds coming out, filling out the guy, throwing my jab, throwing feint, seeing what's going to land. Second round, I put a little bit more pressure. And then the third round, I took it off from there.
We talked about John Rincon before, and I want to talk to you about this little surge in Corpus, Corpus boxing. Your city's always linked with Benavidez, obviously the world champ from there. But there's been a surge. There's yourself, Mark Buke, John Rincon, Xavier Nunez, if he ever fights again. Of really, really talented fighters coming out of Corpus Christi all at the same time. What's going on in Corpus that caused this surge of really good fighters, all coming out at around the same time?
I like Corpus isn't really known. Boxing in Corpus is dead, and I think what it is that like nobody really knows of us. So like when we finally start popping out, everyone's like, "Yo, like, where did these guys come from?"
Yeah, it's not like San Antonio or other places where it's just a fight culture. There was Jesse Benavidez, Belmontes got close. He probably should have won a world title, but that there wasn't any really big names popping up from Corpus until right now, and now there's a bunch of guys, and you guys are carrying the torch. Travis Crawford, looking forward to seeing you fight again. It's always an honor and a privilege to get to talk to you. Congratulations on a really, really, really exciting 2023.
Thank you.
And it might not be over yet. Let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at TravisC_361, Facebook at Travis Crawford, and that's it.
All right. Travis Crawford, it's been an honor to get to cover you this far. I can't wait to see what you have in the future. Looking forward to it. God bless, champ.
Yes, sir. God bless you too.